A very, very, very strong odor of either natural gas or maybe crude oil.
5 years ago, those who lived in the area knew something was up. Emergency responders checked it out, but it took 14 hours until someone figured out our nation's largest inland oil spill ever had hit Calhoun County.
If it happened again today, would local first responders be better prepared to identify the problem and contain the oil? Well, new at 6, 24-hour News 8's Joe LaFurge is looking at the lessons learned.
This is all our dress out, our personal protective equipment. We have different types of gloves. We have different types of suits. You can't have enough tarps.
In Battle Creek, the fire department's hazmat team is ready for just about anything. A problem in an industrial plant, an overturned tanker, but the discovery of hundreds of thousands of gallons of oil spilled out of a pipeline into a major waterway, well, that's a whole different ballgame.
We were pretty limited on our response capabilities. We didn't have enough boom, anything like that.
But that has changed in the last 5 years.
This is oil boom.
BCFD heads the regional hazmat response team. Since the spill 5 years ago, they've obtained more equipment and the team's expanded. 23 firefighters are now available to respond.
Everyone's on awareness level now in case something like this does happen. You know, Enbridge is local now, and we can just utilize and we can deploy quickly.
The initial response to the mess here in the river has led to what the Calhoun County Emergency Management Director calls a PhD-level course in pipeline leaks. It was just before 9:30 at night on July 25th of 2010 when the first sign of trouble came by way of a call to 911.
Calhoun County Central.
Someone reported an odor in the area. Crews from a Marshall area fire department responded but found nothing. More calls were made, the same complaint. The only thing they had to go by was the smell. No visual evidence of bubbling crude. Dispatchers didn't even send out crews to some of those other calls, something National Transportation Safety Board investigators would in a later report call confirmation bias. Basically out of sight, out of mind. 14 hours after that first 911 call, the problem was confirmed, but it was only the beginning.
The one thing that nobody realized, and it was impossible for them to realize, I need to add that, was the sheer magnitude of what we really had.
It took a chopper flight for Emergency Management Director Dirk Dunham to realize the magnitude.
And what did you see from the air?
Devastation. The river was actually pure black. It was literally a river of oil. I remember having tears in my eyes. I just couldn't believe the magnitude of what I was seeing.
It would take weeks to contain, years to clean up the spill. The NTSB report outlines some of the problems associated with the initial response, like the failure of first responders to realize the potential of that smell that they were called to check out. The result, crews are now better trained to follow their nose.
What is that smell? Why are we smelling it? How does it differ from a gasoline smell or a natural gas? Those kinds of things.
And while there were established lines of communication between emergency managers and Enbridge, 911 dispatchers and others now have an 800 number to call at the first hint of a problem. There is more equipment, more training, and today, a different philosophy.
There would be a lot less time thinking, well, how serious really is this? A lot less devoted to that and more devoted to actual response time.
Joe LaFurge reporting. The NTSB report into the spill urged fire departments and emergency dispatchers nationwide to take a look at the Enbridge spill and to become more aware of the pipelines running through their communities. Our coverage of the spill 5 years later continues on woodtv.com. We've just launched our interactive timeline showing what happened in the hours after the spill. You can also watch Casey Jones's tour of the river showing the progress being made. Tomorrow, we're investigating another controversial Enbridge pipeline running through our state. It goes right underneath the Straits of Mackinac. A rupture there would have a devastating impact on the Great Lakes. We'll show you what the state's doing to try to keep that from happening tomorrow at 6.